like to thank you for joining us on this splendid opening night of the 28th San Francisco International Asian American Film Festival.
CAAM was founded in the summer of 1980 by a group of producers, filmmakers, and community activists who shared a passion for the moving image. The person who was most responsible for bringing us together at the founding of this, for this founding conference has recently passed away. And I would like to take just a moment to acknowledge the extraordinary impact and to dedicate this year's festival to her memory. On this occasion, I am pleased to announce that CAAM is establishing the Lonnie Ding Award in Social Issue Documentary Filmmaking, and this award will be conferred annually as part of our film festival. This is normally the part of the year where I introduce Chiu-hui, the festival director, and he shares with us the festival overview, and then he introduces tonight's special guest and the premiere of the film, and you'll still do all that. He's done this for 10 years as the festival director, and some of you know this will be Chi-hui's festival final night doing this for a while. So we need to make this official, It's not enough that I say this. The whole community really has to recognize this. So it is now my pleasure to please ask David Chiu, the President of the Board of Supervisors for the City and County of San Francisco, to come up and make an official proclamation.
Let it be resolved that today, March 11th, 2010, is Chi-hui Yang Day in San Francisco.
That's pretty cool. Let's see. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, David. That means a lot to me, and it's my day today. That's great. Well, welcome everyone. It's so great to see you all.
Yeah, Bollywood films, slightly different style, slightly different aesthetic than Western films. So I honestly, I didn't exactly know what we were going to get, like bringing these guys in, how easy it was going to be to work with them, or difficult, if they were going to be divas. And we didn't have any rehearsal time. They flew in and these long flights, and were on set working within a couple of days after they arrived in New York City. But let me tell you, these guys were unbelievable to work with. They were just such special, wonderful, warm, talented, gracious actors and human beings. They were really the best, some of the best actors I've ever worked with.
The film centers around the story of Samir, who is a sous chef in New York City and has dreams of becoming a very fancy and important chef. And because his father has a heart attack, he's forced to go back to Jackson Heights, Queens, where he grew up, and take over his ailing hole-in-the-wall, his father's ailing hole-in-the-wall Indian restaurant.
John was a comedy writer. He also was a former writer for The Daily Show before I was on The Daily Show. So it was like this weird sort of confluence of things. But he was also a food critic for the New York Press. And I had written this one-man show set in an Indian restaurant with all these characters. And so we sort of decided, well, it would be fun and difficult to write a food movie about Indian food and get it made. So we did that, and it was both fun and difficult.
Oh, I loved it. I really love cooking, and I love romance stories, so there was just a little bit of everything that I loved in it. It was really fun, and it was funny. It was really, really funny.
A really, really great film. I think for them to pick this to be the opening night film for the film festival was really on point. Represents what they want to portray as far as Asian American films, and it was really, really great.
Short intermission.
The ultimate, rush of the whole thing is showing it to an audience and getting that feedback. And I think it's what actors love in the theater is that they go up on stage and they get that feedback from the audience in a very immediate way. For filmmakers, you kind of have to wait a year and then do all this editing, and then finally you get it, and it's quite something.
I know just off of the response that I heard booming through the theater that this film is exceptional, and I can't wait to see it.
Well, this is just opening night. I mean, I think the first film was wonderful to open with such a happy, great human story.
Every time I come back, it's always really exciting. This is this is the biggest Asian American film festival in the country, and I think it's the oldest, if I'm not mistaken, and it's the best.
And it's very special. I mean, to have that in San Francisco is really wonderful. Everybody comes together. It's true. I mean, it's like a huge festival, but at the same time, it really feels like a home kind of a festival. It's just a pleasure to be here.